Welcome to my real estate market update. I'm going to be providing you with a review of Calgary's real estate market in 2016. However, before I do, I want to go over some terminology. Some of you will find this helpful so you can follow along. First one is months of supply. This is the number of months it would take to clear existing inventory. It also tells you your absorption rate so you can gauge how long it might take to sell a property based on recent data. In Calgary, a seller's market is considered to be less than 3 months of inventory, a balanced market, 3 to 4 months of inventory, and a buyer's market, once we have more than 4 months of inventory in the market, this is when prices start to decrease and it's considered a buyer's market. Sales to new listings ratio. Well, this basically tells you what percentage of properties are selling. Sales to list price ratio. Well, this is the percentage of list price that a property sold for. And if you ever see DOM, stands for days on the market. This is obvious, pretty straightforward. The number of days it takes to sell a property. And then another straightforward one, the number of sales. And this is some people sometimes relate this to price, but the number of sales refers to the number of transactions that occur. So, moving along here, looking at the total residential for the city of Calgary. Now, just to be very clear, total residential combines detached, attached, condos, townhouses, everything. So if you're wanting a specific analysis of a specific type of property, this is not the way to do it. This looks at total residential, so kind of gives you a bird's eye view of the overall health of the real estate market in Calgary. So real quickly here, we've got 3.75 months of supply, so total, we're in a balanced market. Sales to new listings ratio, so of the listings that come on the market, only 55% sell. A lot of people are very surprised about this number, but we can talk about that later. Sales to list price ratio, so the average property sells for 96.95% of list price, and the average property is on the market 46 days. So again, looking at the total sales for total residential, if we look at over the past 10 years, 2016 is definitely one of the worst. It's not the worst, but it's one of the worst for the number of transactions. And this is very indicative of our current economy right now. Obviously, unemployment rate is very high. Overall economy is not doing as well as it's done before. So it usually affects the number of transactions right off the bat. Doesn't affect the price as much though, and remember, this has got nothing to do with the price. This is just the number of transactions. So it does, even if you look back over the last 2.5 years since the price of oil went down, the average price of real estate's only gone down 5 to 6% total over those last 2 years. So as you can see, between the unemployment rate and the oil and gas industry, it hasn't changed the prices too much, but it certainly has changed the number of transactions. If you look at 2014 compared to 2015 and 2016, definitely has had an effect on the number of transactions. Looking at the detached market, so this is a house that's detached. There's just under 3 months of inventory, so this is the product that did well, the most well in 2016 was the detached home. So we've got just under 3 months of inventory. 62% of these properties that come on the market are typically selling, so it's just under 40% that don't sell. And they're selling for an average of 97% of list price. On average, they're on the market 42 days. And then the sales for the detached, it mirrors a lot of what we saw in the previous graph here. 2016 is still one of the slowest years for the number of transactions. And again, from 2014 to 2016, we're looking at mainly effect of the unemployment rate and the overall economy. Looking at apartment-style condos, notice the months of supply is well over 6 months of inventory. So this is considered a buyer's market. Another scary statistic here to look at is only 4 out of 10 of these properties are selling right now. So that means 6 out of 10 are not selling. And they're selling for 96.29% of list price, and they're on the market for, on average, 57 days. And this graph here is even more intensified than the last. Now, if you look at apartment style condos, 2016 is the worst year in the past 10 years, coming off of 2014, which is one of the best years. So it's been a huge decline. A lot of builders were overbuilding, a lot of condo buildings were being built up. And as we can see, 2015 and 2016 was a real big drop in the number of apartment style condo transactions out there. The attached market, so these are duplexes, townhouses. There's just over 4 months of inventory. A little over half of these properties are selling, typically for about 97% of list price, and on the market 50 days. So not as bad as condos, but not as good as detached homes. And in the number of transactions, it's been a little steadier than condos for sure. And the number of transactions compared to the worst year for attached properties, we're actually almost close to average. So a little bit different than the other two categories, but still not one of our banner years even in this category. Well, I hope you found this information helpful. I invite you to watch my other real estate videos, and if you have any requests for future video topics, I'd certainly love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and have yourself a wonderful day.